All right, today we're going to break down a really critical idea in business called the cash conversion cycle. It's basically a vital sign that tells you how healthy a company's operations really are. At its core, the cash conversion cycle is all about answering one simple but super important question. If you can answer this, you're well on your way to mastering cash flow.
But before we can start timing things, we first need to understand the fuel that powers a company's day-to-day operations. And that foundation is working capital.
The easiest way to think about working capital is that it's the cash a business uses to bridge that gap between when it has to pay its own bills and when it actually gets paid by its customers. It's the absolute lifeblood of the business. So, if working capital is the fuel, how do we measure how efficient the engine is? Well, that's where the cash conversion cycle, or CCC for short, comes into play. It's how we measure how well a company is managing all that cash. So the CCC is really just a stopwatch. It measures the entire journey in days, from the moment cash goes out the door to the moment it comes back in from a sale. The shorter that time, the better, because it means less cash is stuck in the system. And the objective is crystal clear. A shorter cycle means the company gets its money back faster, and that's a huge sign of efficiency and really strong financial health. So how do we actually calculate this thing? Well, it's made up of three key parts of a company's operations. Let's dive into each one. First up, you've got days inventory outstanding, or DIO. All this means is, on average, how many days does a product sit on the shelf or in a warehouse before it gets sold? And the goal for DIO is pretty obvious. You want to keep it low. Every day that inventory isn't sold, it's just cash tied up on a shelf. Moving it quickly frees up that cash. Next, we have days sales outstanding, or DSO. You know, a sale is great, but it's not really complete until the money is actually in your bank account, right? DSO measures exactly that, how long it takes to collect the cash after the sale. And just like with inventory, the goal here is speed. The lower the DSO, the faster customers are paying you, and that gives the business a whole lot more cash to work with. Okay, this last part of the cycle kind of flips the script. It's called Days Payables Outstanding, or DPO, and it measures how long a company takes to pay its own bills to its suppliers. Now here's the twist. Unlike the other two, a higher DPO is usually a good thing. By waiting a bit longer to pay your suppliers, without hurting your relationships, of course, you get to hold on to your cash longer and use it for your own operations. So here's how it all comes together. You add the time it takes to sell your stuff, plus the time it takes to get paid by customers, and then you subtract the time you take to pay your own suppliers. And that result is your cash conversion cycle. Okay, so this isn't just some abstract theory. This has a huge impact in the real world. Let's look at a classic example of a company that absolutely mastered this. Back in the 90s, Dell completely changed the game. Their big idea was to figure out how to get paid by a customer before they even had to pay their own suppliers for the computer parts. And this timeline shows you exactly how they did it. A customer pays them on day 1, but Dell doesn't have to pay its supplier until day 50. The result was a negative cash conversion cycle. They were basically using their suppliers' money to finance their growth. Pretty brilliant. So it all comes down to managing these three things. You want to sell fast, you want to collect fast, and you want to pay slow. Mastering that balance is the key to shortening the cycle and unlocking a ton of cash for your business. Honestly, getting this balance right is fundamental to a company's financial health, and it leaves every business leader with a really important strategic question. If you were in charge, which one of these areas would you focus on improving first?